Hello.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome to Thomas Family Life. Wow, it's been I think it's been a little while since we gave y'all an update. We have, I know we kind of had our live series that was going on, and we were kind of trying to stay updated with that. But life happened.
We had a baby.
We had a baby. So if y'all was watching, if y'all seen any of our lives, we were, Angel was pregnant, and if you've seen any of a couple of videos before this, we decided to have a home birth, and we kind of talked about why we wanted to do the home birth versus the hospital. And so today, it's all about Angel today, y'all. Today we're gonna talk about. I was there, but it was intense.
It was intense, and you had a major part to play.
I did. I played a role. But today we're gonna talk about the home birth, the whole home birth experience. We kind of vlogged it, but we just want to just talk about it, and then bring in what we captured that day.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit over a month.
Yeah. It's been 2 months.
2 months.
She'll be 9 weeks tomorrow.
9 weeks. That doesn't compute in my mind. 9 weeks mean 2 months. I guess it's crazy. Time flies, y'all.
Yeah.
We had her in May, so
I don't even remember what questions I should be answering for these.
Well, so let's kind of
what I should be talking about. It's okay.
Let's kind of just talk about it a little bit. You see that this is how these videos gonna be, y'all. We gonna try, but when you got a newborn, it's just gonna happen like this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the water breaking. So
okay.
How was that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start. Angel's water has broken. So Angel's water has broken.
Doesn't mean she's in labor.
Oh, it means she's in labor. Yes, Angel's water has broken. On the phone with the midwife. The party is getting ready to start. I think I'm gonna go ahead.
Let me back up a little bit. So we went into my appointment. I had an appointment that day. It was I was 41 weeks in 2 days.
Yeah.
So it was my 41-week appointment. You're meeting weekly at that point. And I went in. I was expecting that I was gonna be told that I was definitely probably gonna have a baby that day because I was gonna be pregnant.
Yeah.
So went in and was asked if I wanted to be checked to see if I dilated any. I like that they asked me if I wanted to be and then just tell me too that I was going to be. That was the baby. That was her just giving a little gas, giving a little attitude to the video. But so she asked me if I wanted to be checked. I said yes because I wanted to know, even though I know it's silly because you can easily go from being 2 centimeters dilated to 10 in just a couple of hours. So it doesn't really matter, but for some reason when she checked me, I thought for sure I was going to be a 6. I thought she was going to tell me you're 6 centimeters dilated, expect to have this baby today. And she told me I was a 2.
2.
And I got instantly discouraged. I was like, forget it. I'm going to be pregnant forever, man.
Yeah, it was all the way in. She was pregnant. And I was like, this baby gonna come out because they don't stay in there forever.
It felt like she was.
She was like, oh my goodness.
And she knows we're talking about it. So yeah. So we went there. Midwife gave me some prepping exercises, positions to try to sit in. To try to encourage baby to go down into the pelvis because she was not low enough. And
let's talk about that a little bit. So
okay.
So prior to this point, Sunflower had been breached throughout the whole time, throughout the entire pregnancy, minus last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, and we were mentally prepared
to
deliver a breech baby at home. Our midwife, she said to take a course online. It's called Breech Without Borders. So if you're pregnant right now and your baby is still in a breech position and you're getting concerned about that, because if you, she's not happy.
Because there are some legitimate concerns about a breech birth, and so, but however, at the same time, there is a lot of education that should be around the subject that we had no idea.
Yeah, and honestly, doctors, if you go to the hospital and you're pregnant with a breech baby, you're more than likely 99.9% chance of having a cesarean. Because doctors aren't trained in cesarean births anymore. Midwives are, not all, but a lot of them are still trained in delivering breech babies. So my midwife said she was comfortable delivering breech. So I felt comfortable because she was comfortable, because she's done it before. Now, the midwife that ended up delivering my baby actually didn't have as much experience, and so she was not as comfortable. I met with her beforehand to, just in case my midwife couldn't make it for some other reason. We talked about my feelings towards not going to the hospital, and even if we were delivering breech, how I still rather do it at home. And so it was suggested that we take this course called Breech Without Borders, and we get educated on what could happen and on the whole situation.
Get some water into this little tub here that we have in the middle of the kitchen.
Back to delivery day.
And water break.
Oh, my water breaking. So we came home. I was discouraged, and Roland called it again, like he did with Victory. Uh-oh. It's okay.
So I called it, right?
He said we're having this baby today, and I was just like, I'm giving up hope, whatever. Baby will come when she comes, And so he decided to take me on a walk, and so we went on a walk. I tried some curb walking to encourage things along. Oh, good job. Oh, she's gonna spit up. You gonna spit up for YouTube? It's right down the lip. Oh, that's just milk. That's not spit up.
Okay.
That's just the milk she just drank. So I did some curb walking and just walking around our neighborhood and walking our dog and just all of that. And then I just came home, and it's about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so it's about 10 o'clock at night. I think she's doing something on Instagram.
I was just sitting on my ball because I stopped sitting on the couch because I was told that if I recline too much, that it caused back labor, and I had that before with Victory, and I didn't want to go through that again. So I was trying my best to sit on my ball instead of the couch as much as possible.
Because we had some pre-labor calls that day. She felt some contractions and this. She didn't know if her water broke earlier, so she called the midwife, and we called the midwife. We were just asking, "We sure? We don't know. We sure? We don't know. We don't sure? We don't know." They was very, very patient with us. They like, "Oh, these young at-home whippersnappers who've never done this before. You guys you're just going through the motions,
Yeah.
And so they were super patient with us.
Yeah.
But
so I'm sitting on the ball, just scrolling through Instagram, and suddenly I just felt the pop, and I just liquid everywhere, and I'm like, for a second, I'm like, did I just pee myself? Oh my gosh, no, I didn't pee myself.
She was like, water broke.
My water broke.
And so like me, I'm thinking the movies. I'm like, water broke, baby's coming right now. And so I'm like, I'm calling him,
Yeah, so he got on the phone with the midwife, and I got went in the bathroom and sat on the toilet and let the stuff just come out because it was pouring out of me. Roland handed me an adult diaper so that I could manage to, walk around or something, because I couldn't do anything without ruining our carpet, So I put on an adult diaper, which is weird, but whatever. It is what it is. And I walked around, called my doula. My doula knew that this was our first home birth experience, and so she came early, even though she knew I was in the early stages of labor. But things progressed pretty quickly, so I'm really grateful that she did come, and Roland and I didn't have a baby by ourselves at home, because we wouldn't know when to actually call the midwife and say, okay, I'm in the thick of it now.
I'll keep a headshot so they don't get you burn buns on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
How you feeling?
I feel fine now.
Yeah.
I feel like things are going as expected.
So I know we was talking about it earlier, but you said you was talking about you don't really know what to expect.
Oh yeah. I was saying I'm glad we called you. I'm glad you came, because Melissa, I feel like every time I talk to these midwives, They always saying, "Oh no." It's like, no. I don't know.
You'll know. Yeah, that's what I figured when I talked to you. I was like, they probably just want someone there.
Yeah, they're probably like, you'll know when to call us. I don't know when to call you. That's why I call you every day.
Angel want this serene environment. I'm killing it in a bad way. It's not in a good way because she wanted it dark, and I got this big old light because the low light on this camera sucks. But she's working at it, y'all. She's getting there. I think I did a decent job cleaning up the house. Ariel was helping, mainly Ariel. You know, I just took out the trash, and that's where we at so far. But she's hanging in there, so y'all keep praying. But by the time you see this, we had a baby. So, anyways, here she go. Midwives are funny. So we're calling, and I'm talking, but they ain't really listening to me. They're listening for background noise.
Yeah.
You know, they listen to hear Angel's like, ah, you know, during her moaning thing, and so I'm like, I don't know. And then so the doula comes, and she's like, nah, let's just let it intensify a little bit more. I was like, man, we keep on intensifying. The baby gonna come. She's like, calm down, young Pat one. We're gonna let this intensify a little more, then we'll get the midwife here. And so all I had one job. And my main job was to fill the water in the tub. Mm-hmm. So moment that happened, boom, I'm in it. I'm gonna go fill this tub up because I'm trying to make sure this tub is full with warm water she needs so she can have this baby in the warm water and be comfortable. The midwife won't be mad at me. Because that's what happened to our doula.
Yeah.
Her husband. Yep. Because he did not get the water in time, and I was not going to be that story.
Yeah.
I was going. If it was nothing was going to happen, I was going to have 2 hot water in there. So.
Leah, if you're watching this, you guys.
All right. So filling up the tub, and it's showtime, man. And you can't hear it now, but a couple minutes ago, man, she was in there singing. So. It's game time, y'all. Check out the pool. So we got it. Getting full. This I think I did a crappy job on the liner here this time.
No, you're good. Put it down. Okay. We want it like 99.
Oh, yeah, our water is like boiling.
Let it out.
Y'all hear? We almost there, y'all. The midwife is on the way.
No one's concerned.
The dog is leaving. Water's filling up. So it's showtime, y'all. We getting there. Angela almost ready. Sunflower's almost here. It's 2:53.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Mention the morning first.
A.M. y'all. A.M.
Out in that way. I like that she gave me different positions to be in, and just the comfort of being able to do it however I needed to do it. Most of my laboring time was spent in our bathroom with the lights off. I don't know why I wanted pitch black, like no light at all, you know, but that's what I wanted. That's what I needed at the time.
She had this whole scene, like she was like, I want the room dark and candles.
Do you have to do that voice?
That's how
say
she's
all
like,
of that.
I want the serene.
I didn't want a serene environment.
And I want to see the sunlight coming up when the baby comes. I was like, man, this is different because at the hospital it's like lights,
yeah, and
you know, push her.
You know, actually, they say that those lights actually can kind of slow things down.
I bet it does.
I didn't know that, but that's, I read
this
recently.
was completely different. It was different from one standpoint of just having more control about what's going on in your environment. You know, that whole deal. I think that was that was one of the big deals. And we get to the latter part of the story, I'll explain the other part. But I think that was very different. The fact that you at home, you're in your own bed, you can control the lights, you can control the atmosphere, you can play on music. You want some sense, you can do sense, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have full autonomous control of your environment. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was way different from a hospital environment.
Yeah.
I had both my other girls in the hospital, so this experience was a new one to me. But I'm glad I could compare and contrast a little bit. And I definitely probably would never do another hospital birth again after having the freedom of a home birth, because it was incredible to be able to just say what I wanted or what I felt I needed. Oh, she's spitting up. It was incredible to just say what I needed, you know, at the moment, and people listen to me, you know. And I'm being monitored, make sure everything is safe, my heart is fine, my baby is fine. They listen to the baby's heartbeat. The midwives, and they know what to look for, they know what to listen for, and they're really qualified to handle the situation. It's really comforting to know that you know, you have less issues with a midwife pregnancy delivery than with the hospital delivery. The statistics are out there, so you can feel free to look it up and fact check me if you want, but that's something that I read, and I think that's really, really cool, and I can see why after going through what I went through recently to bring this beautiful baby girl in. So I forget where I'm left off.
Well, so then.
Look up a little bit.
It's coming.
I know.
Can't do
And then,
it.
yeah, you can do it, and then push your booty
Oh,
back to your
I
heel.
can't move.
It's okay. It can be slow, but
Oh.
low sound. That's it. A little more. Breathe through. Breathe. Don't clench. You got this. Low sounds. Good job. That's perfect.
To the midwife has showed up, and so now we're in full active labor, right? I think there was just a lot. There was a lot of things that was, for me, that was interesting. You know, just the cadence of the contractions, right? You know, I think so. Before, when you had Victory, I mean, you didn't really have a chance to go through a lot of the contractions, like as far as systematic, seeing it, timing it, knowing.
Yeah,
you know,
like just being really aware.
Yeah, being aware of the contraction time. So compared to like Victory and now, you know, how was that experience?
I felt like these ones were more intense, honestly. But at the same time, I like the process of being able to go through the contractions the way I needed to, as opposed to being in a hospital setting and they pretty much wouldn't let me get out of bed. I had back labor and I wanted to do it drug free, and so I wanted to be able to just honestly just sit in a squat position or sit on a birthing ball or anything but laying on my back, obviously, because I'm having back labor. And they would not let me. And there was a few times when I tried, this is what Victory I'm talking about, there's a few times I tried to, and they would lift me up off the floor and put me back into bed. They wouldn't let me, you know, just stand up and, you know, deal with it how I needed to deal with it. And with Sunflower Grace, I mean, if I wanted to sit down, if I wanted to squat on the ball, if I wanted to lay down, if I wanted to walk around, if I wanted to squat, it was welcomed. Yeah, it was welcomed, and no one told me I wasn't allowed to do this for this way. And I really appreciated that about it.
I think one thing that we learned is that like it's not really normal, right? So like you should be able to be in a position, and your body is gonna do its cadences to manage the process of birthing a child, and versus this rigid plan to put you in the best position for them to deliver a baby.
Yeah. it forever.
Just breathe through it. You'll go all the way out on your exhales. Let it press. You're doing great, Angel. This is perfect. Find your rhythm. Breathe down. Good job, just like that. Yes, ma'am. Try to slow your breathing. Let's see if we can take a sip of water. Send some air to your baby.
Versus your body naturally going through the process of delivering this baby, because having birth is natural.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Like I found out through my midwife that there was a man really long time ago who came up with women laying on their back to deliver to begin with, so he could watch his wife have the baby. And ever since then, that's how birth has been done. And I think that's really weird. You know, my grandmother delivered my great grandmother delivered my grandmother in a cotton field. Just squatted down and had her baby.
Boom, boom, throw them in a basket and kept picking.
So, you know, it's just things that come natural to us. Our natural instinct is to squat or do something other than laying on our backs, you know, to have our babies. And to go against our natural instinct on how to do it, to following these rigid rules, one size fits all kind of shoe thing, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, it was very eye-opening to learn that and to experience it and walk through that. So now we're in there. You're almost about to have sunflower. You're there.
Yeah, I'm at the
How was
where
that?
the baby's crowning. So I actually, it was so weird because I at this point with Victory, when I was about 8.5 centimeters dilated with Victory,
You got the epidural.
Yeah, I got the epidural because I started shaking. There was a lot of intense emotions. My mom was like, I thought you were going to die, you know, like all these things. And honestly, like I'm like, maybe I am, you know, like I don't know. I've never felt this before. And so I started, you know, I had a freak out moment and I asked for the epidural and I got epidural, which I highly regret now, knowing what goes into epidurals for one. And then two, being paralyzed 2 days after getting it. So with Victory, I got the epidural. With Sunflower Grace, at this point, I've never felt any of this before. I had no clue what I was getting into when the baby was crowning and all that, because I've never felt that before. So I'm feeling the cadence of the contractions start and stop, and then eventually there was no stop.
Yeah.
And I wasn't mentally ready for that. There not to be a pause. I kept looking for it, kept waiting for it. It's like, okay, you can handle this, you can do this. Just a few more minutes and then you'll get your break, you know? and that's what I was looking for, and it was not coming.
Yeah. Well, so like the part that I thought was wild, like of how legitimately like we were able to time the cadence. So it was like she would have a contraction for a minute, and then it was like a minute or like 2 minutes, and then she would in between that it'd be like another 3 minutes. So we would time it. I mean, it was clockwork. Boom, 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 and I was like, whoa. And so before we knew it, 2-3 hours had passed, following these cadences, right? And then, but when it got to the point when it was getting ready to go from we was waiting for the next cadence, that cadence didn't come. Like we was waiting for the next pause. That pause didn't come in. Angel was just
going
rolling.
and going and going, and I was just like, oh. And then eventually, I felt pressure. And this is embarrassing to say, you guys, but I have to say it because there's somebody else out there that's like me that was not thinking that this way. I was waiting for the ring of fire. The ring of fire did not come. I felt pressure in my anus. That's a nice way to say it, I guess.
It's bum buns. It's bum buns.
And I thought I had to like pass a poop before I could get the baby out.
Less likely to tear, right? Because if you're breathing into where it burns, you're allowing everything to stretch.
There's no poop. It's in my butt. Well,
It's okay.
And I wasn't even gonna say it out loud. I was just thinking in my mind, like,
No, you said it.
I know I said it, but I wasn't going to say it out loud. I was thinking it in my mind, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just get this poop out, I could push my baby out, And I'm just like dealing with it, and the midwife, she asked me, she's like, do you feel something in your vagina area? And then I had to tell her the truth because I didn't know what to do. I started mentally freaking out because I'm like, this is not what I was looking for. I was looking for the ring of fire, So
and so then they're also like, all right, hey, low hums, So when she's breathing, don't yell, but hum it out, right?
But he's not feeling.
So I don't feel. I'm not
8 pounds
feeling. I'm feeling
on
the
his
pressure.
backside.
I'm feeling the pressure of the, So I'm like, all I'm trying to do is do what the midwife say do. Midwife's like, Angel, low hum. I'm like, low hum, honey. She like, I was like, low hum.
Because I'm like, shut up at the same time. And at the same time, I'm trying to do low hums, but the amount of pressure in that spot, in that area, was not allowing me to hum. Okay? So I'm like, at the same time of me trying to do my low hums, I was literally trying to tell him to stop telling me to do low hums.
and then and it was like, cause the hums was on the cadence. She was, and I'm
You
like,
gotta
okay,
make noises
okay.
like
She was
that.
like,
My gosh.
it wasn't like that. It was like she was like,
Oh my gosh. Y'all are gonna see the video, so whatever.
No, but she had a. It was a good hum. So she had a good hum. But then at this last hum, it was supposed to be a hum, and I was like, honey, low hums. They was like, Angel, low hums, you gotta tear something.
I didn't even care. I said, I don't care if I tear at this point. I don't care if I tear from one end to the other. Like, this baby has got to come out. I gotta push this poop out so I can get my baby out.
And that was the thing, because she was like, she's thinking of poop. I'm thinking of poop, like, because at the hospital they're like, push, you can see, but
Oh, baby's spitting up like crazy.
At the hospital you can see, right? So I was there, I could see, I saw Victory coming, but here you couldn't see. She's in a pool, and so what I thought was it. What I thought would have been like a, okay, she's coming, push, kind of deal. I'm thinking she's almost here. I was supposed to catch her, all that sort of deal.
The plan was for Roland to catch her, but
and so
none of us knew that
and so she's on this cadence, and we're thinking again. She's on this next cadence where it ain't stopped, right? It's like, okay, this is going longer than the previous one. She should have paused by now, but she hasn't paused by now. And we're like, low hums, and she was like, Rah! And I'm like, honey, low hums, and then
the baby comes out, midwife grabs it really quick and hands it right to me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm holding my baby.
Yeah, and I was like, what happened? I was like, well, you supposed to tell us to push and all this other stuff. No, she just, here's your baby. And I was like, whoa. I was not expecting to see the baby come out the water.
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting to be handed my baby either. So
Yeah.
oh my gosh, so it was so funny. But yeah, and it was just such a precious moment.
Yeah.
Holding my baby in my arms, and she was born alive, you know?
Yeah.
That was such a big deal.
But everyone was happy, and we were so excited to see Miss Sunflower Grace make her way into this side of Earth, and so it's been cool. You know, we have some other we have some other videos coming out with some updates on her, some new things we experienced with her, but that'll be on another video. But man, so if we close out this video, would you recommend a home birth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Avoid the hospitals if you can at all. Like, that's my sincere opinion. Yeah, I'm not going back. It's worth feeling all the things. It's worth feeling all the things and catching your baby in the end. And it's worth doing it on your own, on your terms. It's worth not being at risk for an unnecessary cesarean. I mean, during our class with the Breech Without Borders, we found out the statistics of cesarean section, and it's high for no reason. And so there's a lot of evidence on that. You can research it on your own, but I definitely would suggest home birth to every woman out there if you can. If you don't have health problems that would cause you not to be able to otherwise.
I mean, and for the guys, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, men get educated on this stuff because a lot of women want to do home birth, but their husbands are afraid. Yeah. So.
Husbands are afraid, because they don't really know, and you're just trying to take care of the house.
He's the protector,
cool,
yeah.
Right?
He's supposed to.
So you're doing your job, but also another part of our job is to be educated, right? So if our wives are coming to us with, hey, here's an idea that I think would be beneficial for us, healthy, long term. Listen, open your ears up, listen, and then you go do some research, right? And just get educated and learn. And for me personally, this was a lot cheaper. That hospital, I still cringe when I look at that hospital bill because we still paying for it. But this bill is over and done with.
Yep. Pay cash.
And it was super cool. And I think the high touch, the high personal touch that came along with this. I mean, when we had Victory, we would go to a doctor, and it would just be 30 minutes. You look good. Check, lift up everything, touch everything, push everything, and then out of there. And you kind of feel like a lab rat with everybody else. Mm-hmm. But here, with a midwife and home birth.
I think I held my baby for the first couple of hours. Like, nobody really messed with us. We were able to nurse. We were able to just get in the skin, and then, we took a herbal bath, and they took her from me for a second and put her in, dried her off, and then let me dry off and get out of the bath and hand me my baby right back. Yeah. It was just,
And so, the midwife experience, just being able to talk, have some conversation. Our midwife prayed with us about different situations we went through over this last 9 months, right? Mm-hmm. And so, the whole entire experience was just a lot better, way more personable, and way more economically appeasing as well. So, if you are considering getting pregnant, or you're early on and you maybe want to try this home birth experience and midwifery experience, look them up in your area.
Yeah, and also, like, even if you're not early on in your pregnancy, I mean, our midwife, I think the lady came in and she was 30-something weeks, and they take her, and they said, if that's what she wanted, they'd take her. So. So. Man, we're high advocates of midwifery, man. It was super cool, great experience. Doulas, the whole 9 yards,
We need them. We need y'all. We need midwifery because you know, I think as we are going to go forward and as we're going to continue on in the way that this world is going, we're gonna have to get back to some simple things in life. Get back to some basic things that have been tried and true over hundreds of years, to continue without major over governance. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something, right? Anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's it.
So, if you haven't already, make sure you click that like button, click that subscribe button. We love you guys. Thomas Family Life, and we'll see you on the next video.
Peace. Say peace. Say peace. Let me see. 2 fingers. Peace.